And you're like, oh, oh, and you both go the same way, and then you're both like, oh, oh. Hello! Today I would like to talk about a situation that happened to me last week that truly caught me by surprise and startled me greatly. I was in bed, sleeping, I had just hit my REM sleep. This was about 2:50 in the morning, and all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off. Now this wasn't just like a woo, it was like a alert! This is not a drill! Get out! I mean, my roommates and I were so flustered. I'm like, what is going on? And the fire drill keeps saying, this is not a drill! And I'm like, okay, I get this is not a drill, but is this a joke? It's 3 in the morning. Do I have to actually leave my room right now? We do end up having to evacuate the building, so it's like, oh, I gotta find my pants, I gotta wear my glasses, I can't see anything. It was very overwhelming, and we get downstairs, and we're sitting outside in about 30-degree weather. When you evacuate a building, you just never know, so you want to make sure you grab some of the most important things like your Keurig, your mattress pad, you know, the usuals. So, moral of the story, it wasn't that scary, no fire, we went back inside 30 minutes later. It just happened to be the biggest inconvenience. I actually felt startled for the next like 3 hours. I couldn't go back to sleep. Speaking of absolutely mortifying situations that you don't foresee, you don't really know what to do until you're in that situation, when you're panicking, figuring out how do I come out of this alive. I've thought of some other terrifying experiences that I've personally encountered, and I have a feeling that there are other people out there who have experiences as well. One of these examples would be sending a Snapchat to the wrong person. Everything kind of goes so fast when you have these touch phone screens, your thumb just presses it, next thing you know you've sent some mortifying photo of your cat to a guy you haven't spoken to in 5 years, and you're like, oh, I wonder if he won't take that the wrong way, you know. Another pretty terrible situation is when you show up to like a movie or a restaurant earlier than all your other friends. First you're like, do I even get out of the car yet? You're like texting your friends like, are you guys here yet? What's your ETA? You're like, I'll just go in, I'll get a table, I'll get a ticket for the movie. Next thing you know, you're sitting there all by yourself, and people are looking, and your friends are like 15 minutes late, and your waiter's coming up to you like, you ready to order? And like, I swear I'm waiting for 5 other people. It's not just me. I do have experience in human interaction. I swear I have friends. And then when your friends finally show up, they bring a friend that you don't know, so they introduce you, and you don't know whether to go in for the handshake or the hug, and you want to be extra friendly, like give them the hug, and then they give you the handshake, and you're like, and it just goes downhill from there. Another terrible situation is when you're in a place that's kind of loud, like either a really loud restaurant or a party, and you're talking to someone that you don't know that well, and they start asking you questions, kind of like the basics. You know, what's your major? Where do you go to school? And at some point there's like a lull in the conversation, and so they ask you another question, and you just don't hear it, and you're like, what? And they ask you the question again, you still don't hear it. For me personally, I had to say what like 4 times, and then I feel really bad, so you just kind of, this is what I call the smile and wave, just kind of smile. You know, kind of just smile, pretend that you heard it, nod, like, oh yeah, me too, like something very generic. And they're like, oh, so you have been to Bulgaria. And you're like, what? Now I could spend maybe 30 minutes talking about awkward situations like on the street, on the sidewalk. First off, eating it. I'm always tripping over myself, I'm always falling. Literally one little crack in the sidewalk and I'm on the ground. Everyone around me is like, are you okay? I just get up, I brush it off, I'm good. Just pretend like nothing happened, just gotta go with it. Yeah, I see a friend in the distance and I'm like, oh, hey. And that friend is like, hello. I'm like, oh, they're waving at me, great. We have a connection, we're friends, we do this, we recognize that we have friendship with each other. And then they look straight past me and they go to some random person behind me and you're just like, oh. In the event of that occurrence, you cannot let the other person know that you completely just did that embarrassing move. So what you do, you drop to the ground and you just pretend that you're dead for, I don't know, maybe like just wait until they're out of sight and then you just hop back up and you keep moving. And then you're up and you're moving again and someone's walking, you know, this way and you're walking this way and, you know, the sidewalk's not, I mean, it's big enough for you to obviously go around each other, but for some reason, both of y'all are in the exact same path and you get, you know, to where one has to move around the other and you're like, oh. You both go the same way, and then you're both like, oh, and you both go the same way, and like, oh, sorry, and this kind of banter goes on for like maybe like a whole entire minute. You both have to like laugh kind of awkwardly, like, and then just one awkwardly goes around the other. Those are just a few of the mortifying situations that I find myself in on the daily. If you can relate or have any other type of stories you'd like to share, I would love to hear them. Let me know in the comment box below, and we can feel each other's pain together.